This is one of those moments. It is no coincidence that you are here, and I say that carefully, not as a promise, not as a prediction, but as an invitation to notice the strange intelligence of timing. Some messages do not arrive because you searched for them. They arrive because a part of you was ready to hear what the rest of you had been avoiding. The window is only open while you are aware of it. That is the phrase I want you to remember. The window is only open while you are aware of it. By the end of this message, you may not receive answers in the way the mind demands answers, but you may begin to recognize a pattern that has been moving quietly beneath your days, your choices, your exhaustion, your hope, and your private sense that something is changing. Soon, you will see why these two dates carry a symbolic charge. Later, you will understand why not seeing this video again is not a threat, but a mirror. And before we end, I will guide you through a simple moment of inner alignment that many people find grounding when life feels charged with signs. But first, receive this. If you are seeing this now, it may be because something in your life has reached a threshold. Not necessarily dramatic, not necessarily visible. Maybe no one around you notices it. Maybe your routine looks the same, your messages look the same, your obligations look the same. But inside, something has become too loud to ignore. You are not late. You are not lost. You are not behind. You are standing at the edge of a subtle doorway, and the way you listen in the next few minutes may help you understand what that doorway represents. If this frequency resonates with you, subscribe now, not as a casual action, but as a small commitment to remain connected to the kind of messages that meet you when your soul is quietly asking for direction. Let that act mean, I am available to remember. I am available to listen. I am available to return to myself. Because this is not just about a video. This is about timing, attention, and the invisible moment when a person stops running from what they already know. There are two ways to live through a sign. One is to dismiss it quickly, explain it away, keep scrolling, keep performing certainty, keep pretending the inner whisper is only noise. The other is to stop, breathe, and ask a more courageous question. Why did this reach me now? Neither path needs to be judged, but only one path opens. Many people spend years waiting for a loud confirmation, a dramatic event, a cosmic announcement that tells them what to do next. Yet in many spiritual traditions, and in many reflective philosophies, the deepest invitations are rarely loud. They arrive as repetition, a number, a date, a sentence, a stranger's words, a feeling in the chest, a video that appears once and then disappears into the endless river of the internet. And the mind says, it means nothing. But the deeper self says, listen. Your presence here means you are already participating in the question. You may have felt recently that certain patterns are ending without asking your permission. Conversations feel different. Old desires feel less convincing. Some relationships, goals, fears, and versions of yourself no longer hold the same power. You may not be able to name what is happening, but you can sense that the old rhythm is losing authority. That is not failure. That is transition. And transitions often feel like confusion before they feel like clarity. The title says, this must find you on July 30th to 31st. That does not mean the universe is forcing you into something. It means that these dates can be used as a symbolic mirror, a narrow frame of awareness, a 2-day portal of attention where you look at what is usually hidden in plain sight. Time has always been more than clocks. Time is also meaning. Time is also memory. Time is also the way consciousness marks a before and an after. July 30th and 31st are not here to give you a guaranteed destiny. They are here to ask what you are ready to stop postponing. If this touches something in you, press like now as a way of anchoring this recognition. Not because a button has mystical power by itself, but because symbolic actions can help the mind mark a moment. I heard this. I felt this. I am paying attention. The window is only open while you are aware of it, and awareness is the first doorway. Soon you will discover the 3 signals that often appear when a person is standing at the edge of an inner shift. But before that, you need to understand why this message carries urgency without fear. The urgency is not "do this or something bad will happen." That is not the path here. The urgency is softer and more intimate. If you keep ignoring your own inner timing, life may continue to repeat the same lesson in different costumes. The same hesitation, the same emotional pattern, the same quiet dissatisfaction. And perhaps you have already noticed it. Maybe you solve one problem and another appears with the same emotional flavor. Maybe you leave one situation and later find the same wound speaking through another face. Maybe you try to become new while still negotiating with the version of you that is afraid to release the old. This is where the first revelation begins. A sign is not always an answer. Sometimes a sign is a pause. It interrupts the automatic movement of your life and asks you to become conscious before you continue. Some perspectives in contemplative traditions suggest that consciousness changes our relationship to experience, not because reality magically bends to every thought, but because attention changes what we perceive, what we choose, and what we are willing to repeat. That is the first signal. Repetition with emotional charge. If something has been repeating in your life, especially during the days leading to July 30th and 31st, do not rush to label it as bad luck, failure, or coincidence. Ask yourself, what is this repetition trying to make visible? What feeling keeps returning? What decision do I keep postponing? What truth do I already know, but keep asking life to prove again? You do not need to answer out loud. Just notice. The second signal is inner friction. This is when the outer life continues, but the inner self no longer fully agrees with it. You may smile while feeling distant. You may continue a routine while sensing it no longer belongs to you. You may be grateful and still restless. You may love parts of your life and still feel called toward a wider version of yourself. This friction is not necessarily a problem. It may be information. There are those who ignore this friction until it becomes exhaustion, and there are those who listen early enough to transform with more gentleness. You can choose to keep going as before, calling your discomfort just a phase, or you can begin to honor it as a message from the part of you that is trying to evolve. And here's the third signal: unusual resonance. A word follows you. A date stands out. A memory returns. A person says something ordinary, but it lands with impossible precision. You hear a sentence and feel as if it was spoken from inside your own chest. This does not have to be supernatural. It may simply be that your attention is organizing meaning around what matters now. But meaning matters. Write this in the comments if you feel it. I am aware of the window. Not because writing guarantees an outcome, but because language can help crystallize intention. When you write it, you are telling your own nervous system, your own awareness, your own inner witness, I am no longer asleep to this moment. I am aware of the window. And if this is resonating, let this be the moment you share the video with someone who has been questioning their path quietly. Not everyone will understand it. Not everyone needs to. But there may be one person in your life who has been waiting for a sentence that gives shape to what they could not explain. Now breathe, not deeply yet, just honestly. Feel the air entering the body as if the present moment were asking permission to reach you. Let your shoulders soften a little. Let your jaw unclench. Let your eyes rest, even if they remain open. You are not trying to force an experience. You are allowing the experience you are already having to become visible. Feel, breathe, allow, observe, receive. This is the first induction, and it is simple. Place your attention on the space between one thought and the next. Maybe it is brief. Maybe it is almost invisible. But in that small space, you can begin to sense that you are not only the thoughts passing through you, you are also the awareness noticing them. And this matters because July 30th and 31st, as symbolic dates in this message, are not asking you to chase signs outside yourself. They are asking you to notice the sign you become when you are fully present. The window is only open while you are aware of it. Many people miss their turning points because they expect them to look cinematic. They expect thunder, certainty, applause, or a sudden removal of fear. But often, a turning point looks like a quiet refusal to betray yourself one more time. It looks like telling the truth in your own mind before you tell anyone else. It looks like admitting, "This version of me has carried me far, but cannot carry me further." That sentence may be one of the hidden keys of this message. This version of you carried you. It protected you. It helped you survive certain seasons. But it may not be designed for the door that is opening now. Press like here if you want to anchor that understanding. The old self is not your enemy. The old self is the bridge. And when you honor the bridge, you do not need to burn it in hatred. You simply cross. There is a veiled perspective explored in many mystical and philosophical traditions, that a human life unfolds through thresholds. Not just birthdays, losses, achievements, or visible changes, but inner thresholds where identity reorganizes itself. These thresholds are not always announced. Sometimes they are felt as restlessness, sometimes as sadness, sometimes as a strange desire for silence, sometimes as the sudden knowing that you cannot keep abandoning yourself and still call it peace. This perspective is not usually shared in ordinary language because ordinary language wants everything to be linear. It wants a cause, a result, a plan, a guarantee. But the inner world is often spiral. It circles a truth until you are ready to enter it. And this message is circling one truth. You are beginning to remember that attention is sacred. Where your attention goes, your life begins to take shape. Not in a simplistic way. Not in a way that blames you for every difficulty. But in the deeply human way that what you repeatedly notice, feed, rehearse, and believe becomes the emotional climate you live inside. If you constantly give attention to fear, fear becomes familiar. If you constantly give attention to regret, regret becomes home. If you begin to give attention to presence, truth, and inner alignment, something in you may begin to reorganize around a different center. This is the second revelation. The video may not appear again, but the message can continue inside you. That is why the title says you will not see this video again. Whether literally true in your feed or not, the symbolic meaning is stronger. You never meet the same message twice in the same state of consciousness. If you return tomorrow, you will already be different. If you hear these words later, the version of you hearing them will not be the one hearing them now. This moment cannot be repeated exactly. That is what makes it alive. So ask yourself, What is the one thing I would stop postponing if I truly understood that this moment is not coming back in the same form? What conversation would I prepare for? What habit would I question? What dream would I stop mocking? What grief would I finally allow to breathe? Do not answer quickly. Let the question enter slowly. There are answers that vanish when grabbed and reveal themselves when welcomed. Now we move deeper. The third revelation is about the hidden relationship between urgency and peace. Most people think urgency means panic, but sacred urgency is different. Sacred urgency is the calm knowing that a door is open and that your role is not to force it, but to walk while it is open. It does not scream, it clarifies, it does not threaten, it focuses. This window does not stay open because attention does not stay open automatically. Life distracts. The mind explains. The old identity negotiates. The outer world calls you back into noise. That is why control matters here. Not control over life. Not control over other people. Not control over outcomes. Control over your next conscious act. One breath. One honest note. One decision not to lie to yourself. One small movement toward what feels aligned. That is enough for now. The transformation is not complete, and it does not need to be complete tonight. In fact, be careful with any voice that tells you awakening must be instant, perfect, and dramatic. Many people experience change as layers. A realization opens the door. A practice stabilizes it. A new identity grows slowly enough to become real. You are not becoming someone else. You are becoming less divided from yourself. The window is only open while you are aware of it. If that sentence is beginning to feel personal, write in the comments, "I choose the open door." Let it be your second affirmation. Let it be simple. Let it be visible. Sometimes the act of writing a phrase helps the hidden part of us feel witnessed by the conscious part of us. I choose the open door. And now, if you can, prepare for the deeper visualization. You do not have to close your eyes if you are not comfortable. You can simply soften your gaze. Let your breathing become slower, not forced, just slower. Imagine that July 30th and July 31st are two pillars of light standing before you, not as literal objects, but as symbols of a passage. Between them is a doorway made of attention. On one side of the doorway is the familiar version of you, the one who waits, the one who doubts, the one who keeps asking for one more confirmation. Do not judge this version. Look at them with tenderness. They carried fear because they wanted to protect you. They hesitated because they remembered pain. They delayed because certainty felt safer than movement. Now imagine the other side of the doorway. Not a perfect life, not a guaranteed outcome, not a magical escape, just a more honest version of you. A version that listens earlier, a version that chooses cleaner, a version that notices when the body says no, when the heart says wait, when the soul says continue. This version is not loud. This version is steady. Breathe in, pause, breathe out. Let this settle. Ask inwardly, what am I ready to notice before it disappears into noise again? Maybe a word arises, maybe an image, maybe nothing. Nothing is also information. Silence is also a response when the mind has been too crowded to hear subtle things. Feel your hands. Feel your chest. Feel the point where your body meets the chair, the floor, the present moment. You are here. You are listening. You are aware. The window is only open while you are aware of it. If this guided moment brought you even a small sense of calm or recognition, press like as a way of anchoring the state. Again, not because the action controls the universe, but because rituals of attention can help you remember what mattered when the noise returns. Now listen carefully, because we are approaching the main revelation. The reason this message had to find you is not because you are chosen above others in a way that separates you. It is because you are being invited to choose yourself in a way that finally includes all of you. The tired part, the hopeful part, the skeptical part, the mystical part, the wounded part, the wise part, the part that has been waiting for permission, and the part that already knows permission was never outside. This is the quantum plot twist of the message. You were not waiting for the sign. The sign was waiting for your attention. That may sound poetic, but feel what it does inside you. It reverses the direction of power. Instead of believing reality must shout loudly enough to convince you, you begin to understand that your awareness participates in the meaning of what you experience. A date becomes a doorway when you enter it consciously. A message becomes guidance when you reflect on it honestly. A moment becomes sacred when you stop treating your own life as ordinary noise. This is not about believing everything. It is about listening more deeply. It is about becoming available to the intelligence of your own unfolding. The dominant archetype here is the chosen one, but not the chosen one of ego. Not the one who says, "I am better." The real chosen one says, "I am responsible for the light I have recognized." It is not superiority. It is sensitivity. It is the burden and beauty of noticing what others might pass by. And if you have often felt different, if you have sensed things before you could explain them, if you have carried emotions that did not seem to belong entirely to you, if you have felt both tired of the world and deeply in love with its hidden beauty, then this part is for you. You are not strange for needing meaning. You are not weak for wanting signs. You are not foolish for feeling that life speaks in symbols sometimes. You are beginning to remember a language you were taught to dismiss, and this is only the first step. The identity that is opening in you will require practice, discernment, humility, and continued attention. You will need to learn the difference between intuition and impulse, between a sign and projection, between sacred timing and avoidance. That deeper work continues beyond this video, and perhaps that is why this moment matters so much. It does not complete you. It initiates you. The window is only open while you are aware of it. Write this final declaration in the comments if you are ready. I am the one who notices, not the one who controls everything, not the one who knows everything. The one who notices, the one who listens, the one who returns to presence before making the next move. I am the one who notices. There is power in that identity because noticing is where transformation begins. Before a pattern changes, it is noticed. Before a wound softens, it is noticed. Before a calling is followed, it is noticed. Before a door is entered, it is noticed. And now the message becomes practical. For the next 2 days, or for the next 48 hours from the moment you receive this, do 3 simple things. First, write down any repeated words, emotions, dreams, conversations, numbers, or themes that seem to carry unusual resonance. Do not exaggerate them. Do not fear them. Just record them. Second, take 5 quiet minutes each day to breathe and ask, what am I pretending not to know? Let the question work gently. Third, choose one small action that aligns with the answer you already sense. Send the message. Clear the space. Begin the page. Say no. Say yes. Rest. Prepare. Listen. Small actions can become thresholds when they are taken consciously. And if nothing dramatic happens, do not assume nothing happened. Sometimes the deepest shift is that you stop abandoning your own perception.